Okay, it's been a while since I did a video, so I thought I'd put one out here. This is sort of a typical day in the life of Control Head refurbishing. I'm getting these in sort of a steady stream now. I got two yesterday. This is one of the two. And I turn these around, like I tell the customers, typically in a day or so. So anyway, kind of give you a look-see of this one that came in. It's obviously off of a well-used radio, which is exactly what these radios were intended to do. It's a little dusty, little, well used, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to start the process here and kind of do some video clips as I go. Okay, so one of the things I do, first thing actually I do, is before I do any disassembly, I give the control head a pretty good outside bath. And by outside, I mean, as you'll see in a bit, I do clean up inside. One of the things that really makes the appearance improve is every one of these little grooves winds up with gunk in them. And so I go in and clean them all. It's kind of hard to do this holding the phone camera and doing it at the same time, but you get the idea. So, and believe me, this makes a huge difference in appearance. So anyway, keep going here. Another thing that I do on the opposite end is to really give this rubber tire that's on the VFO a really good cleaning. And as I rotate it here, you can actually see the gunk coming off of this. So when I just kind of point out to people, when I do these refurbs, this is not an LCD replacement. This is basically getting these control heads back to where they look like they're brand new. And I've got some pictures of side by side between new and a refurb, and you can't tell a difference. These things clean up really, really well. Okay, so this is after the first initial bath. And by the way, to show you where the priorities are here, the next thing I'm going to focus on is fixing the LCD. This is what the current LCD looks like. And you'll notice because the frequency is stored in the radio, I'm going to change this LCD panel. And it's going to come right back to this same frequency. I always use the highest frequency, the 400 megahertz frequencies, because it lights up the most characters. So it gives you a good before and after comparison. Okay, so we're about to do our surgery here. One of the things I do that I show in my other videos, I check the VFO encoder to make sure that it's not starting to come apart. This one feels great, so it doesn't need any attention. If it does need some attention, and it's possible, I do go ahead and refurbish these, but this one is good and tight and doesn't need any work. So we'll begin the disassembly. Okay, so here's the panel pulled out of the control head. Since the last clip, I took the back off 2 screws. That's the black 2 screws. The little silver screw, which has a brother here somewhere, holds the panel into the control head body. So we're going to be taking all the guts out of this and cleaning it. But the one thing, if you work on these, the one thing that you do have to do some soldering. And that soldering is right there. That's the volume control that hooks into the board. And man, don't clip the wires. You know, I've had some people send me their control heads that they try to fix, and they give up on trying to take the connector out and just clip the wires, and it's a mess. So I'll show you here in a second what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and pull the connector out with again, proper tools. This is the soldering tip that I use to get that connector out. So again, tools, super important. Okay, so the connector's out. The pins, these are little spring pins. They actually are hollow. They're tabs actually. And I need to clean those to get the solder out of them so they'll go into the new board. And I'll show you what I mean by new board. Here's the panel out of the unit, I want to show you something here that is good and helpful if you do want to try to do DIY. So for you DIYers, here's a helpful hint that I use in rebuilding the panels. This particular panel, it came in with a control head. I'm going to set it aside. I'm not going to refurbish this panel at this point in time because of the turnaround time. Now with these new non-OEM LCDs, there's about an hour's worth of work to get one of these assemblies through the rebuild process. Actually, it's probably a little more than an hour with all the various steps, but I do about 10 of them at a time. Anyway, you can do this. You can actually power the unit on and do some diagnostics and testing ahead of time. Sorry about that's just dampness from where I was doing my cleaning, which is something to mention. You saw that I gave the outside head or the body a pretty good bath. You will get moisture in here if you do that. So that's why since I'm going to set this aside probably for a week or so before I do the rebuild of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That'll all be dry by then and cleaned and all that kind of stuff. And everything down to the frame with the lens, that all, when the LCD comes out, that all gets exposed, etc. So anyway, this is what the panel looks like, and you can look at all the lights. You can look at the switches and so forth. You can operate the switches. This thing is fully functional out this way. The only thing it won't do is since the volume control is gone, you'll have no volume. So anyway, check the function encoder, all that kind of stuff. So fully functional this way. I'm going to reach into my bucket of refurbished panels. You can see on the lens here, I've got this. There's actually a plastic cover that's on both sides of these LCDs when you get them. But this is one that LCD is. This one is going to go in this control head. So pull it out. Just a second, I'll fire it up and let you see what it looks like. And this is what the panel looks like that's going into that radio. The connector, you can see through the holes there where the connector plugs in. So we're going to set this guy aside and use him. Okay, so now back to the body itself. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, it shows up. You can see that this control head is actually dusty inside too. So all this is going to get cleaned. You'll see that in a few minutes. We're going to pull this button. Here's a button assembly. I'll go ahead and pull that out. We get that out. And looks like it's oozing mud from my cleaning. So anyway, we're going to get all that cleaned up, get the buttons all cleaned, get the control head body all cleaned, and dress up that connector to be wired in. So here we go. So the connector is all cleaned. There's from the solder wicking. There we go. And I think that shows pretty good. You can see that these things are hollow. So we're going to be getting this thing in there. We're going to get the volume control off and cleaned up. So I'll do that next. Okay, so we're all wired up here. The buttons are back in. You can see that the case is considerably cleaner. And so are the top buttons. So is that assembly, VFO assembly. So this is the inside look of the unit. So we'll start the reassembly process. Okay, so the panel assembly is back in. One of the things, unfortunately, I can't do it because it requires two hands. Don't force the panel in. There's a couple things that have to be kind of jockeyed out of the way. You basically should have like one or two clicks, snaps, and the board will just snap right into place and be level. If you can't get it level with the screws, you got some interference, go back and check it. But make sure that you don't push any pressure on the board, because if you fracture any of these surface mount components, then you got a whole new problem to deal with. So anyway, just should be like a snap, and the board will drop down into place and land on the mounting tabs. Okay, so here we go. Everything's clean. I'll try to do a side by side here, make a little montage kind of thing of before and after on this control head. Okay, so this is it, all cleaned up. Looks like new. Plays like new. That's what we should have been able to read before. Let me zoom in on a bit. There we go. Nice, crisp. That's actually a better angle. There we go. You can see that the lettering looks really good. A lot better than it did. And again, that bottom line missing, good Lord, that there's no way that people can say that's a complete detractor compared to what, I mean, is it perfect? No, but it's a ton better than it was a minute ago. Well, actually, it's been about an hour and a half. Anyway, here we go. She's getting ready to go back to her family. Okay, I mentioned I got 2 today. I thought I'd just do sort of a curtain call here. This is the second one I got. This is just how it came out of the box. VFO has been destructively disassembled, which is not good. I think I can fix that. Hopefully I can. So anyway, another thing I wanted to point out was this came with one of the, what I refer to as the AliExpress boards, and I don't use these. This comes with a hard, I'm not going to take this out because I'm going to send this back to the customer. I'm not using this. Okay, hardboard version. Again, I apologize, but I'm not taking this out of the bag. Hardboard version, the version that I use, and again, this one has actually been custom made to my requests, and it fits much better. The problem is that this thick hardboard will not let the lens assembly, which I'll show here in a second. Well, actually, maybe I can pull this out. No, I can't because the whole encoder thing is messed up. Anyway, I use this one here, and that allows that the LCD holder to sit flat on the board just like it did. This one, you can't pull it all the way down, and it's not good. Okay, so I was able to rebuild the encoder, which is a good thing because that was a $40 mistake if that couldn't have been rebuilt. And it's working just peachy. Feels good. So, crisis averted on that one. Anyway, this is the new panel. Kind of doing things backwards here. I'm getting the guts figured out before I do the cleaning. That's the old panel, by the way, which I didn't even look at. I'll fire that up here in a minute, see how bad it is. So anyway, good news is encoder is fixed. Anyway, I can see why the owner felt compelled to do a repair. That's what I refer to as an LED that is gone. Remember the frequency from the last encoder, it's 429 and change. Looks like 992.69 maybe. Anyway, if you got into HF, I don't even know how you even know what band you were on. So, upward and onward, we're gonna, now we got the guts working with the new assembly, etc. We'll concentrate on cleaning up the outside. So we're done with number 2. Interesting thing I've come across, and like you've heard me say in the past, like, ooh, looks like I need to do another once over with that. My whole routine was screwed up because this is the one that was in the kit form. So I need to go back and clean that up better. I have never seen this ever. The function encoder knob has a hole in the end of it. Very strange. Don't know why, but it did. I guess there's got to be a story behind that. Anyway, as part of the refurb, I throw in a new knob when it's needed. Looks like that knob needs a bath too. So anyway, again, my first step routine was completely discombobulated. So this guy's got to get cleaned more. We'll be back. Okay, all right. Clean up the knob better. Knob's pretty worn, but it's okay. Usable. Cleaned up that guy, rubber tire better. Got some dust on here. It looks good. Let's see what the display looks like. You remember it was gone. Now it's not. Looks good. Encoder works good. So we're in good shape. Ready to go back to its owner. Thanks for watching.